Here are some things I usually do before hard mode to make it more manageable, roughly from most to least important. My first priority is sorting my items and crafting stations. In pre-hard mode, I end up with a pile of disorganized chests scattered near spawn. It can be overwhelming to try to fix this, but I have a strategy for it. First, I place spare chests off to the side. Then I take all the items from my disorganized chests and put them there. At some point, I put all of my crafting stations at spawn, with chests underneath them for relevant materials. You can do this before or after moving the disorganized chests. I then take all the items from one of the disorganized chests and put each item where it goes. I also place extra junk chests as necessary for things that don't suit the crafting stations, like shackles and obsidian chairs and paintings. I repeat this process until there are no longer any disorganized chests. When done correctly, it can empty most of my inventory the instant I go to spawn by quick stacking, and the remaining items can be put in the correct chests easily. If you like this idea, you can also try building it above Shimmer, so that you can more easily decraft items when needed. I also like to build corruption barriers around important places, like spawn in the jungle. Corruption, Crimson, and Hallow cannot spread across a 3-block wide gap. However, on the surface, the Corruption and Crimson can grow thorns capable of bridging that gap and infecting the other side. To remedy this, build a barrier that extends upwards and blocks off all the grass from the outside, out of blocks that cannot be corrupted, such as wood or stone slabs. To be safe, you can also put non-corruptible blocks around all of the outside edges of the barriers. For the jungle, instead of digging tunnels by hand, I just use bombs to dig pits from the surface to the underworld. This isn't as safe, as it doesn't do anything to stop the thorns, so it needs to be checked on periodically. These pits also function as elevators for early hard mode mining, and additional access points for the jungle. I also explore the underground desert. Often I'm after one thing in particular, the magic conch. It's really handy for getting across the world or despawning enemies at the ocean, for example when fishing during a blood moon. Along with the ancient chisel and dune rider boots, it's only found in the upper 4/7 of the underground desert, so if you see a weapon or bass statue in a sandstone chest, that's a cue to go upwards. Bass statues can be found anywhere as place furniture, but are only found in chests in the bottom 3/7. They're also nice to have, especially for tankier builds. There are also some things I mostly do in longer playthroughs. Right before the wall of flesh is the strongest you'll be relative to enemies for a long while. It's a good opportunity to build, as you also have access to a lot of blocks. Making a Plantera arena can be annoying in hard mode, so doing the bulk of the work in pre-hard mode instead can sometimes be a good idea. For particularly long playthroughs, a mob farm can help efficiently supply you with money as needed. I'm no expert, but there are numerous tutorials you can follow to make one. The only fancy thing I usually do is use dark traps on a timer to wake mimics, and swap the biome out as needed. I also scout out fishing pools, making sure there are at least 300 tiles eyeballing it, with no overhanging blocks. If I need a huge potion supply, having an organized garden helps a lot with it. I typically have 10 to 20 of each plant, plus an extra section for whatever I'm low on at the time. I also do fishing quests, mostly for fishing potions to use in early hard mode. The extra stuff can be nice, especially the high test fishing line. Thanks for watching. I'm trying to start uploading again, but only every other weekend. My next video will be a cool challenge I did a bit over a month ago and temporarily lost motivation to edit. See you.